Okay, it's Monday. I am on my way to my consultation appointment, and I am nervous in the sense that I'm like, both, I guess I'm kind of afraid both ways. Afraid of things staying the same, and also afraid of things changing. So I'm afraid that I'm going to get there, and for one reason or another, it's not going to work out, or that like I'm not going to do it, and then this whole thing is going to get stalled, and that I don't ever end up doing it, or I have to wait much longer. So there's that. And then the changing, right? Like I sign up to do it, and I kind of just change my whole life. And like, who would I be if I wasn't always obsessed with if I was fat or not, or if I looked fat or not, or do people think I'm fat or not, or always picking outfits that make me not look fat instead of just wearing an outfit. And then that's not even touching on the food thing. And I was also thinking about money. So before this all gets started, I have some of that nervousness about affording this, about having enough money. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, well, yeah, it is an investment. And yes, it's going to cost money to have medically assisted weight loss. And honestly, this is the thing that you should spend your money on, because it's been the most consistent issue for you your entire life. So if you're going to invest in anything, it should be the thing that's been like eating you alive forever. Literally. Like, my problem is eating, and it's eating me. Eating too much. Eating too little. Eating the bad things. Eating too many of the good things. Like, there was a point in time that I was a vegan for a few years, and it made me even more insane because I was eating more than ever, except I was binge eating bananas then. Do you remember Freely the banana girl? Yeah, she's over there like, it's fine, just eat 10 bananas for breakfast. And I'm like, say less. And I did, and I don't think I've eaten maybe 5 bananas in the last 10 plus years because of that. It's like I had my fill of bananas for damn near a lifetime. I've done keto. I've tried to do anorexia and bulimia. I've tried to do intermittent fasting. I've tried to just be a normal person. I've tried just all kinds of strategies, and it just hasn't worked out for me. And, I would never say that I was all that knowledgeable about exercise and stuff. And the thing is, I don't really want to work out. I really don't. I want my life to just be active enough to where that is enough to give me exercise. Like, I'd be down for low intensity workouts, but nah, I don't want to do anything intense. I really don't. I just need to get my eating and really my brain, more than anything, in a more peaceful state, so that I don't need to try to burn off all these calories. I just need to take in less calories. I want a lower intensity life. I'm not trying to train. I don't even know. I want to do enough exercise so that I am flexible and limber, that I have enough strength to do what my lifestyle is. I mean, maybe I end up, especially after I slim down, I have enough energy and buoyancy to where I do want a more intense life. And it's like, okay, well, the muscle is like going to naturally come, because if I want to do something, then I have to be strong enough to do it. I don't currently want anything like that. I am looking to relax and slow down from what has just been a more stressful and high pressure life than I've wanted to have for the last billion years. So that's kind of what my mindset is about that. And the thing is, I would have so much more money if I didn't eat it. It's this weird snake eating its own tail thing where I'm concerned about the affordability of things, but I literally eat my money. And if I don't eat the money, then what would I do with it? What would I do with the money? Because I've had what was to me a lot of money before, and I just kind of, like, I invested it in myself in certain ways, but I also just kind of pissed it away. Like, when I had money in my my mid-20s, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't do any, like, it honestly stressed me out, I guess, to have it, in the sense that I didn't know what to do with it. So I did nothing with it. was like the best time of my life because I wasn't so worried about how I was like gonna pay for my basic needs. But also at the same time, I was worried about the money leaving. I still didn't enjoy when I spent it. I still felt stress about it leaving and it not coming back. And I never felt like I had enough money still. And that is also kind of what I've referred back to with this that I'm doing right now. I have less money, still enough. It's not like I have nothing compared to somebody like poor. But I have way less money than I did back then. Granted, this is before anybody like knew about glp1s and whatever, that this was available to me. But I still probably wouldn't have done it then, and I would have been concerned about spending the money. And now that I've lived through that, I'm just like, you know what is ever enough? And I think that is like the sickness in this country, in this world, because billionaires still, I don't know, I guess they still feel like they don't have enough for everything ever, and I don't want to be like them. I have enough to do this. Okay, it's the next day. I'm back. I am 1/3 of the way ready for life, and it's almost 3 p.m. I've been in the middle of doing nothing, but also meal prepping and playing Sims and watching things on the internet. We got some broccoli. I am making chicken thighs. Is this a good spot for you? Works for me. Yeah, so I have all of my little, I'll crop this part out, but my thighs are showing because I'm just in my undies. Is this just enough? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so yesterday I went to the consultation. As we know, it was an interesting experience, and I did have an immediate aftermath reaction to it, which was super lame because I was super tired and I just didn't have a lot of energy to give. Not that I ever really do, but that's neither here nor there. So, thoughts, reflections, what happened? I found it to be, a really tiring environment. I talked with the doctor for like an hour. So I was greeted by, the receptionist. I was taken back by that receptionist who got me in the room and offered me again if I wanted water or coffee. Then more like the sales rep came in, whose name was Billy, and we chatted about the program, the cost, typical things to expect with it, kind of like the surface, just scraping beneath the surface kind of information. And yeah, he was mainly there to talk about the money element and the day-to-day and like how it all works. Cool, normal. Then the doctor came in, and the doctor was an older gent who has been a physician for like 34 years, and he told me that he used to work in the trauma center, and I didn't get all the lore, but I learned a little bit. And he, in an effort to answer questions that I had, and also like be reassuring and vouch for his own business, he just explained a lot to me. The differences between the peptides and why they're presented differently, which is marketing, but like here are the actual differences. One of the questions that I asked was like, why would somebody go to one of these environments versus just their straight up primary care environment in more of like a straight laced doctor or hospital setting? And I think that I think he wasn't sure if that was me being critical of his practice, because he went on a journey of an explanation that I wasn't even entirely sure was relating to like what we had been talking about anymore. And then he circles back and asks if that answered my question. And I'm just like, I didn't even know what to say in that moment, because I was like, I didn't even realize we were still talking about my question with what that response was. And I learned enough and felt all right enough to go ahead and pay for the first round, right? So when you go to this, you sign up to do 3 months, which is going to end up being, so it's $150 a month for the semaglutide version, which is what I'm going to try first, and it is cheaper. My client who referred me to this clinic, she told me that she tried the semaglutides first for also the reason of it being cheaper, but it's just something that's like maybe less intense. It's not the tirzepatide, or tirzepatide. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to do the same thing. And also, the semaglutides work for me, and it happens to be cheaper that way. Cool, of course I want that option. So I went ahead and did that and signed myself up, and I get my first injection next Monday. So I am excited for that. I think that I am a really good candidate for this outside of like medical history and where I'm at from a physical composition standpoint. I think I'm a good candidate because I would like to think that I do all of the right things from a routine standpoint when I'm not being derailed by like somebody who is a big part of my life wanting to eat all of this crazy stuff, and now we're not really doing that, so that's good. I've already talked about that. Outside of that, though, I think I eat balanced foods. I think I just overeat, and that the sheer fact that this will give me a feeling of fullness and satiation and turn off the food noise is going to be the thing that like irons out anything that's ever stood in the way for me, because I don't think that it's what I eat. I think it's how much I eat, and that I'll have just eaten, and for no particular reason, an hour later, illogically, somewhere in my brain is just like, you should go eat something. And then I can't think about anything else. And then it's like my body makes up these hunger signals, and I'm like, what are you doing? I know you're not hungry because I fed you a mere hour ago, and there is no way that you burned through that and need more food. And it's not like I fed you garbage that doesn't have any nutritional value. I did. You got protein, you got fat, you got some carbs. What more do we need here? So I'm ready to be psychologically free. And I'm also ready for all of the clothes that I outgrew in the last year to be a little big. And I told the Billy guy about how I did lose 15 pounds on my own and what I did to do that, but that it did take an entire freaking year to do that. And then, you know, how I gained it back the next year because of a relationship. And, you know, he's like, I've been there. Because he'd also been on the program, of course. And he was like, if you were able to dedicate a year, then you're going to do so well, and you don't have that much to lose. Like, so much of the time we have people who have hundreds and hundreds of pounds to lose. That's not the case for you. So you should get to where you want to be pretty quickly. And it's probably only going to take like a month or two, max 3, like this trial session, for you to lose that same 15 pounds. And then if you just keep going, like, you just, whatever you had in mind, you should be able to do. So that was encouraging. Can't wait to not be a ravenous beast anymore and to live my best life. So, yay!